My name is Celera. I'm 29, a graphic designer living in a quiet town in upstate New York. For most of my life I've felt like a shadow in my own family. My sister Maricel has always been the center of everything. The moment she walks into a room, people turn toward her. They laugh first, listen closer, celebrate louder. She shines without trying. Me. I fade into the background. Her wedding made that painfully clear. They placed me on a folding chair by the kitchen. Away from the music, away from the family, like I didn't belong. Meanwhile, cousins I barely recognized sat front and center. I smiled when I had to, but inside I felt small. Invisible. Eventually I couldn't sit there anymore. I got up and left. 10 minutes later I saw Maricel in the parking lot. She was crying. Her makeup was smeared, her perfect image slipping for the first time. And in that moment something shifted in me. For once what she showed on the outside matched how I had felt for years. That's when I knew I was done being invisible. Done being an extra in someone else's story. Growing up, Maricel was the golden child. She was 2 years older, smarter, louder, more confident. She won awards, led conversations, drew people in without effort. Everyone leaned toward her. Our parents treated her like she could do no wrong. I was the opposite. Quiet. Reserved. I spent hours sketching in notebooks, dreaming about art school. But my parents didn't see that as a real future. They wanted something safe, something predictable. When I chose graphic design, they dismissed it as a phase. Even after I moved out at 20 and built a freelance career from nothing, they still didn't take me seriously. At family gatherings, my mom would ask, "So, Celera, when are you getting a real job?" At the same time, every small achievement of Marisol's was celebrated like a major victory. We were never close. She took over every family event, birthdays, holidays, celebrations, and somehow made each one revolve around her. I was always there too, helping in the background, setting things up, fixing what needed fixing. But I felt like furniture. Useful, but unseen. I told myself it didn't matter. I focused on my work, my clients, the small world where I actually had value. Still it hurt. Every story told at the table, every laugh, every proud moment, it was always about her. When Maricel got engaged to Corvin, a polished finance guy with a perfect smile, it felt like the whole world was celebrating with her. At our parents' Christmas party, she made the announcement like a performance. There was a slideshow. Her ring sparkled under the lights like something out of a movie. People cried. My dad hugged Corvin. Everyone applauded. I sat there, smiling politely. I had spent the entire morning baking a pie for that party. No one even mentioned it. After that, everything became about the wedding. Group chats flooded nonstop. Dress fittings, menus, venue photos. My mom called every week, but only to talk about Marisol's plans. Whenever I tried to share something about my work, she'd interrupt and steer the conversation back. I still congratulated Maricel. I meant it. But underneath there was this quiet ache. Like I was slowly disappearing. Then I saw the wedding party list. 10 bridesmaids. 10 groomsmen. Corvin's younger brother was included. Even a distant cousin made the cut. But not me. Her own sister. It hurt more than I expected. Still, I told myself it was her day. Her choice. So I stayed quiet. I showed up to the rehearsal dinner with a gift and a smile, hoping, just maybe, this time I'd feel like I belonged. I didn't. The restaurant in Albany was elegant. Long tables dressed in white, candles glowing softly in the dim light. I wore my best outfit and carried a custom sketchbook I'd made just for her. Maricel sat at the head table, laughing with her bridesmaids. I walked over, trying to catch her attention. She glanced at me, gave a quick, polite smile. The kind you give a delivery person. And then turned back to her friends like I wasn't even there. And in that moment I realized something painful. Nothing had changed. "Oh, Sala, you're here," Maricel said, barely looking at me before turning back to her friends and laughing about some story from her bachelorette party. I stood there for a second, feeling awkward and out of place. Then I quietly returned to my seat at the far end of the table. My parents hardly noticed me. My dad gave me a quick nod, and my mom was too busy adjusting Marisol's seating chart to say hello. I left early that night, my chest tight, telling myself it was just one evening. Just one event. The wedding day came and I drove to a beautiful vineyard in the Hudson Valley. The hills rolled gently under the evening sky, and fairy lights glowed in the oak trees. It looked like something out of a magazine. I wore my favorite navy dress and carried the espresso machine from Marisol's registry. It had cost me $400, more than I could really afford, but I wanted it to matter. Maybe today would be different, I told myself. The ceremony was beautiful. Marisol looked stunning in her lace dress. Corvin stood beside her, smiling proudly, like he had won the biggest prize of his life. I clapped with everyone else. I even felt my eyes sting a little watching her walk down the aisle. I wanted to be happy for her. I truly did. But the feeling didn't last. At the reception, I searched the seating chart, expecting to find my name with the family. Instead, it was scribbled at the very bottom in pen, not even printed like the others. Table 22. I asked an usher where it was. She led me through a side door, down a short hallway, and into a small corner beside the kitchen. That was my seat. A single folding chair next to the swinging doors where servers rushed in and out with trays. I stood there staring at it. Felt like a joke. One I wasn't supposed to question. "Oh, Sala, you're fine here, right?" one of Marisol's friends said as she walked past, offering an awkward smile. I looked out toward the main hall. Golden centerpieces. Music. Laughter. My parents sitting proudly with relatives. Marisol raising her glass with Corvin's family. Not a single person looked my way. It felt like being 12 years old again, sent away while Marisol played the perfect daughter in front of everyone. My hands shook as I placed the espresso machine gift bag on the dessert table beside the wedding cake. Then I walked outside. No shouting. No scene. Just me stepping into the cool night air, my heart racing with a mix of anger. And something else. Freedom. I was halfway across the gravel parking lot when I heard her voice. "Solera. Where are you going?" I turned. Marisol stood there in her wedding dress, glowing under the lights, her heels sinking into the gravel. "You can't just leave," she said, her voice shaking. I stayed where I was. "Can't I?" I replied quietly. "You've already shown me where I belong." Her face fell, but I didn't soften. "It's my wedding day," she said, as if that explained everything. "Exactly," I answered. And I got a folding chair by the kitchen. Not even a real seat. She looked down, fidgeting with her bouquet. "It wasn't like that, we just ran out of space." I let out a small, bitter laugh. 22 tables, Marisol. I counted. "You had room for 200 people." I met her eyes. "Just not for me." She said nothing. And somehow that silence said everything. And somehow her silence said more than any excuse ever could. That's when everything hit me. Not just that night, but all of it. Every Christmas when my gifts were overlooked. Every dinner where my voice got lost under hers. Every moment I stepped back so she could shine. "I've been invisible to you my whole life," I said, my voice steady now. "You take the spotlight, and I've always let you." But something was different this time. For once I didn't feel small. I felt clear. "I'm done being your shadow," I said. "I deserve to be seen too." She opened her mouth to speak. But I didn't wait. I turned and walked away. Each step toward my car felt lighter. Stronger. Like I was finally letting go of something I had carried for years. All the times I stayed quiet. All the times I made myself smaller just to keep the peace. Not anymore. That night something shifted inside me. I didn't need their approval. I didn't need their attention. I had my own life. My work, my art, the people who actually saw me. And for the first time in years, I felt free. For the first time in my life I let myself feel proud. Not of Marisol. Not of my family. Of me. I had spent years shrinking, convincing myself it didn't matter. But it did. And I was done pretending otherwise. I wasn't invisible anymore. I was here. I was strong. And I wasn't going to let anyone make me feel small again. I started the car and pulled away, the soft glow of the vineyard fading behind me. My heart was still racing, but this time it felt right. I had finally said what needed to be said. I had told my sister exactly how it felt to be overlooked, pushed aside, forgotten. No. I was ready to live my life without waiting for anyone to notice me. That night I felt like a different person. I didn't know what would happen next with my family. I didn't know if they would ever truly see me. But for the first time, it didn't matter. I had found my voice. I had claimed my space. And I was free. "I showed up for you," I had told Marisol, my voice steady. "I spent $400 on a gift. I thought about it for weeks, made sure it was perfect. Because I wanted you to see me. I wanted you to know I cared. Her eyes filled with tears. But I didn't stop. You didn't forget me, I said quietly. You chose to treat me like I didn't matter. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Please, Celera, not right now. Everyone's inside. I pointed toward the glowing vineyard behind her. Go back, I said. Dance. Cut the cake. Be the perfect bride. Then I looked straight at her. But don't expect me to sit in your shadow anymore. I had spent years trying to fit into a place that was never really mine. Trying to be the easy sister. The quiet one. The one who didn't cause problems. Not anymore. She tried to speak again, but I raised my hand. I'm done, I said. I can't be invisible anymore. As I turned toward my car, my mom rushed over. Her face was tight, worried but also annoyed. Celera, what are you doing out here? Your sister's crying. I leaned against the car, the cold metal grounding me. She did that to herself, Mom. He sighed like I was the difficult one. You're making a scene. The seating was tight, that's all. I looked at her, really looked at her. The same woman who had always told me to stay quiet. To be understanding. To let things go. You let your daughter sit alone by the kitchen, I said softly, while strangers got family seats. And you think I'm the one making a scene? She had no answer. I got into my car, started the engine and rolled up the window. In the rearview mirror, I saw Maricel standing there in her wedding dress, tears streaming down her face. And for once, I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. I felt free. I didn't go straight home. I just drove. Through dark, winding roads. Past quiet towns and sleeping orchards. Letting the steady hum of the engine drown out everything I'd been carrying for years. My phone kept buzzing. I ignored it. For once, I didn't rush to respond. Didn't rush to fix anything. I just kept driving. When I finally got home, I looked at my phone. 30 missed calls. 15 from Maricel. 10 from my mom. A few from my dad. And 1 from Zephyr. I opened the messages. Maricel, where are you? Mom, you owe your sister an apology. Dad, call us. Then Zephyr's message. I saw your seat. That wasn't right. Are you okay? I stared at it for a long moment. For the first time, someone saw me. Really saw me. I didn't reply. I turned off my phone and went to bed, feeling lighter than I had in years. The next morning, I skipped the post-wedding brunch. I wasn't going to sit there pretending everything was fine. Instead, I made coffee, opened my sketchbook and started drawing. Lines turned into shapes. Shapes into ideas. Something in me felt open again. Later, I walked through Albany's art district. The sun was warm on my face. The air felt different, like I could finally breathe. An email popped up from Marisol's wedding site. Thank you for attending. There was a photo of her and Corvin under soft fairy lights, smiling like everything was perfect. I marked it as spam. Didn't open it again. That day I did exactly what I wanted. I grabbed a latte, wandered through the streets, sketched murals, watched people pass by. No pressure. No expectations. No one comparing me. No one overlooking me. Just me. And for the first time that was enough. But I knew my family wouldn't let it go. That evening my phone rang again. Marisol. I answered. Her voice was soft. Careful. Like she had rehearsed it. Celera, we need to talk. I didn't hesitate. You had a year to plan this wedding, I said. Don't tell me you were overwhelmed. You chose to put me by the kitchen. Silence. Then quietly. You're still mad. I exhaled slowly. No, I said. I'm not mad anymore.